Hello, everyone. This is Daisy X Machina, the drag queen detective that investigates all things speculative in science fiction, fantasy, and horror. And this is a Get Ready With Me where I put on drag makeup or some kind of makeup and talk about whatever is going on, usually about books to film videos later today. And we have Lynette. Yay, I'm so glad you made it. Started daylight savings and it's 6 a.m., which is better than 5 a.m. So, wow, you're a real trooper. 6 a.m. is still super early, if you ask me. Anyway, well, I'm glad you're here. Of course, you reminded me I screwed up and thought this Saturday or today was going to be October 7th. I don't know what I was thinking of. I swear, all this week I was confused about days because Tuesday I was convinced it was Wednesday. So who knows? Oh, Mooney's here. Yay. And I know it's a weird time zone for you too. So people in off time zones are here. So how is everyone's reading going this week? I am still slogging through A Spear Cuts Through Water by Simon Jimenez, which Evie got me. And I don't know, I'm having a hard time getting through this book, but I'm over 50% through and I'm going to finish it. But I don't know, it's a long book. I was like, why is it so long? But it's like 500 pages, which is pretty long. Um, but it's the whole thing. I mean, it's what do you call it? Like a frame story where, like Princess Bride, where someone's talking about the story that their Lola or grandmother told them. And then it's overlaid with this other frame of the inverted theater. And I guess this is like omniscient third person, but it does it really strange where you go to a minor character and then the minor character has like a one or two sentence thought in italics. So it's very unusual. The writing itself is literary, I think, a very elevated writing. Um, but for whatever reason, I'm having trouble getting through it. You finished Starter Villain, yay! 4 out of 5, not bad. And that's the other thing. I want to. I part of me is like really wanting to get through this book just so I could start Starter Villain because I really want to read that one. And this is one of those weird situations where I actually sort of have this TBR now because I have Starter Villain. I have this other book by Simon Jimenez, his debut. I have Brandon Sanderson finally released his fourth, not finally, but he released his fourth secret book series, and I didn't even do a review for the third one. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to read the fourth one and then just do like give a review of all four books together, maybe rank them or something. I don't know. Um, so let's talk about what's going on in my face. Last week I did the Pennywise from It spooky clown, which was a disaster. I really did not like the look in the end. I should have gone a lot deeper red to make it look more like blood, and it was very pink. Um, and I know what I'm going to do different if I ever do it again, but I'm not going to do it again. But I did really like the nose. I thought I did a very good Pennywise nose. So this week, continuing with my October spooky series, I wanted to do a devil look. So I'm trying an all red look. This is all basically red grease paint. It's oil based, it's not water based. Um, but it's all patted down with powder, and I'm going to have fun cleaning up after this. I'm now listening to Louise Fitzhugh bio, who wrote Harriet the Spy. Oh, that's interesting. Hey, Evie, you love the It look inspired by last week. Thank you so much. And DK Moon is here. Wasn't sure what's going on with the face. Just guessing that you lost. Oh, Evie, I don't know if you heard me talking about it, but I'm still trying to get through Spear Cut Through Water, and I'm having a hard time getting through it because of it's the writing itself. I said is literary, in my opinion. It's very elevated writing if you're interested in that type of fantasy literature, but it just feels so long to me, and I don't know. I'm not going to DNF it. I'm going to get through it. I think it's a good book. It's just for me, I was having a hard time getting through it, or I am having a hard time getting through it. Hey, Dark Horse, you look wicked so far. Thank you. Okay, so let's get started. I decided I mean, I drew these brows high. They don't match at all. One goes forward, or one goes up, and one goes up. Hopefully, the wig will cover that up. I guess I look like Mr. Spock raising one eyebrow. But I think I'm just going to do like a normal, I was thinking purple eye with maybe like a yellow cut crease, which I'm sure no one cares about, but we better get started. So I just need to start with a very, very dark purple. Actually, you know what? I'm going to start with black. It's definitely literary. We're talking about Spear Cuts Through Water. I should have warned you. I don't mind literary. It's just the framing, the frame story where it's the guy in the present talking about the inverted theater, talking about or showing this story. Um, it's just hard for me to get through. On the flip side, you're reading Shadows Linger and loving it just as much as the Black Company. I love the Black Company. That's is it Glenn Cook? Something Cook. Um, so maybe I should check out. Oh, Shadows Linger, is that like the third trilogy or second trilogy? Okay, so I'm going to see what I'm doing here. So if it wasn't clear what I did last week or why I did Pennywise last week, as I filmed a video about um, Stephen King, sort of 10 facts about Stephen King. And today, I think I'm going to do, I don't think I'm going to do, I'm going to do just a general video on the horror genre or horror subgenres, which I don't use. My thesis is always the only purpose of a subgenre is to help you find novels or stories similar to a story you found. And I just don't think there are that many horror subgenres. Okay, so what am I going to do? Am I going to just do round? Yeah, that always works out. It's going to. But like starting with movies, I do use the term slasher because if I want to see a horror movie, I want to know that it is not a slasher. I want a supernatural horror. Um, and there's exceptions, of course. And slasher is just like a psychopath killer on the loose, like Friday the 13th or Halloween or that type of thing. Texas Chainsaw. Okay, let's switch. Now I need to go to a dark purple. Oh, it's the second book in the Chronicles of the Black Company. Okay. And then the third one is the rose or the something. I can like picture the covers. There is sort of a standalone about a tree or something that you don't need to read for the trilogy. So so glad you're not going to leave it like that. If you came to my door on Halloween with that face, I'd go into cardiac arrest. Well, thanks, Frank. That's actually a compliment if you're trying, if I'm going for a spooky Halloween. Probably start Impossible Creatures. It is unusual. It is available on Kindle for Australia, but not USA. Yeah, because after you talked about it, what, 2 weeks ago, I went to look it up and I liked the blurb and I was like, oh, I'm going to pick that up. But I couldn't get it on Kindle. Oh, I did get another um, middle grade book called I Am the Walrus with Neil Schusterman and some other writer. Favorite horror is killer animals. My least favorite is ghost stories. I'm the opposite. I'm just the reverse. I prefer a ghost story over killer animals. You don't like slashers. Hey, Lori. Hello, hello, hello. Thank you for stopping by to say hello. There's even trans horror. So, John, I haven't. Yes, I have. I should say that. I read the Wasp Factory, but I know there's that one with the weird ones with the. It looked like I thought they were like fruits hanging from a bag, dripping blood. That got a lot of attention. Still working on Soldier Son, about halfway mid of the second. How do you like it? I really liked Soldier Son. Not a huge fan of slashers. I mean, of the slashers I mentioned, I guess I did appreciate. Sorry, I'm looking. Texas Chainsaw, sort of that, because it was so over the top weird. Okay, I'm going to go for this dark purple. Oh, why does that look blue? Oh well. I mean, I'm using this, but it's looking blue. Okay, now I want to. Do a sweep. I got these devil horns. I'm not going to wear them for this video because it's really hard to figure out how to make them work for the wig, but um, I was hoping it would work for the video. And speaking of horror, there's a new season of American Horror, and I really liked the first, I don't know, 5 seasons or something. But then I just wasn't interested anymore. And I've tried to get into the new seasons. And I think last year they had one that was sort of, it felt like a slasher based in the New York gay community. And I thought I would like it. But after the second episode, I was just not into it. And this season seems like it's not a slasher, more of a Rosemary's Baby type situation. Oh boy, these eyes do not match. But last year I read Rue about a killer kangaroo. The writer wrote it on a deer. It was so over the top, very bloody but fun. I love that. Don't really care for much for Soldier Son, but Hobb can make a weak story feel compelling. The story may suddenly get through, though. It just seems weak so far. Well, I like the Elderlings books more. I was just one of the things I really liked about Soldier Son is um, playing around with how the hero doesn't have to be a muscular Arnold Schwarzenegger type, even though he kind of starts that way because of the magic system. Other horror writers dared him to write it, so she used their names for the characters and then he killed them off. Heard the Texas Chainsaw really wasn't that gruesome. It was just sets like inside the killer's house that creep people out. There was a real gay slasher in New York, but they caught the guy. So yeah, I think maybe the American Horror Story was based on that. Yeah, I still haven't really found uh, a modern, recent, current horror writer or new horror writer to get into. Because I still go back to the old ones: Stephen King, Clive Barker, Anne Rice, Dean Koontz. But I know there must be recent ones. And I even tried to get I think I got his name from like he won some horror award, the Bram Stoker or Edgar or something. And I didn't like it at all. The one about the deer or the antlers. Oops. And of course, I hated that horror book. What was it called? Echo. I should have DNF'd it, but the concept was interesting. It's just the execution for me just didn't work. Heard great things about Tana Ariv Jew, so I wanted to check out their horror novels. Okay, thank you. I'm going to look that one up. Is that the author's name? Very odd name. Or is that a book? Gave up on Dean Koontz. I didn't read a lot of Dean Koontz, but I read a couple. Oh, and Brian Lumley, who is more cosmic horror. He does Lovecraft-inspired books. The the Necroscope series, it goes on forever. It's like a dozen books, but I don't recommend that one. I recommend the Titus Crow books if you're into Lovecraft. Be reading your second Raid Wild book in the Elderlings world. Not my favorite in the series. Yeah, that's what everyone. Yep, not my favorite, but still liking it. That's what a lot of people say. Don't love horror like game and horror where story has just a touch of horror, but not what the story is about. Yeah, I wouldn't call Gaiman a horror writer. Have you read Clive Barker? Because that's sort of the extreme, if Gaiman went extreme. But like Weave World, my two favorites are Weave World and Imagica, which are kind of contemporary dark fantasy. Might read some more Bentley Little. I haven't read any of Bentley Little. I want to read Tanner Areve Dew. I have to look that person up. Dean Koontz's Intensity novel was terrific. Tanner Reeve Dew is an author. They wrote The Between. That's the only one they wrote off the top of my head. Well, you guys have got me curious. But like I said, suddenly I have a TBR, and I normally don't have TBRs. But I have that other book that Evie got me by Jimenez, which I'm probably not going to get into right away. I have I Am the Walrus. I have the new. I have my Shelve It or Shove It pick, which I really want to read about Starter Villain, about the evil cats. And then Brandon Sanderson's book. So his fourth secret novel, which I've already paid for, but is supposed to arrive on Sunday, the ebook version. Okay, let me put on some light. Just to blend it, and then maybe I'll put on one more transition color up here. Okay, so I need a light lavender, maybe. Okay. Tanner Reeve does The Good House. I'm excited for the new horror anthology coming out on Tuesday. Out There Screaming, an anthology of new black horror edited by Jordan Peele. Interesting. I think do add a story in there. Love Jordan Peele's movie Get Out. I loved Get Out. And he did the other one about the people like living, sort of like a doppelgangers living amongst us. But I think this is Jordan Peele. Oh, I forgot the name of it. Because Dennis and I think it was last week or the week before, we saw a movie about a flying saucer that was like hunting people, and it was almost like Jaws in the sky. It was really, really good. Really scary. Yeah, I wonder how he is as an editor. Jump to Good Housekeeping. That would be an interesting horror title. Good Housekeeping. You was it called that? Well, Cappuccino keeps us on our toes. It's called Us, okay. With Lupita Nyong'o. That's my favorite. Oh, I haven't seen Nope. That's it. That was it. Nope. I really liked Nope. Personally, I liked it more than Us. But for me, I think Get Out. It goes, for me, Get Out, Nope, then Us. Okay, so let me move on to eyeliner. third Eden book by Philip Chase arrived. The next for me is Soldier Sons books 2 and 3. Okay, I'm going to just do a normal. Well, I say normal. I'm just going to do the cut crease I'm used to. Although this is sort of bigger, drawn bigger for the devil look. Let's do. Oh, I should probably take this out. Okay, I always get these. This pen has about had it. Okay. Get out, U.S. Nope. Oh, you just thought it was okay? I thought it was. Well, I like that sort of that Jaws, the creature hunting you. Maybe with Lynette would like that if you like killer animals, because it definitely had that plot structure. Nope is very different, but I really liked it. Yeah, and very interesting brother sister sibling relationship, I thought, in Nope. Okay, so I was going to do yellow. I just may do like yellow, orange, red. Just to sort of play off of the flame, double flame. I mean, I could just do silver, but yeah, it's supposed to be a dramatic. Halloween eye. Want to try the Eden series sometimes. Do I have any? I ask this every other week, but I thought I had yellow glitter, but I don't think I do. Right, I have gold glitter. have this yellow chroma flake. Okay, let me see if that works. Okay. So I am keeping up with the Wheel of Time series on Amazon. And like I said, I'm enjoying it more than the first season. And I still don't think it's a. I know they wanted. Did Bezos want like his own Game of Thrones type thing? I just don't think it's that good. And my disappointment with how they are straying from the original series is already baked in because I went through that in the first season, so now I can just try to enjoy what they're giving us. I'm going to do one at a time because I'm one eye at a time because I think this base that I'm using is drying out by the time I go to the other side because I live in a desert and there's no humidity. So start these. Okay. I should probably have used different colored bases, but oh well. Really liked What Moves the Dead, a great gothic read. Ooh. Season 2 is much better, lots of changes, love some changes and don't like a few. Okay, so it's not just me. Read the announcement, Olivia Atwater, that she's starting a Victorian fairy tale series. Ooh. Wanted to continue the Regency fairy tales. Evie, you are plugged into the horror market more than I am. I don't think I have tuned into TV for about 2 weeks. I've only watched the first 2 episodes of Good Omens. I need to finish that. The Gwyn Run. Yeah, I did like that part. Tough to watch. Plenty of humidity. That's okay. You can keep your humidity. Get lots of rain, wind, a little bit of rain. It's cloudy and a little rainy here. What's my... Actually, this is kind of mild for Vegas. It's 76 and windy according to my little weather thing. I mean, it does cool down in Vegas quite a bit, usually starting in November, maybe starting in October, but definitely by November, it's pretty cool. I mean, not like snow weather, but you know, in the 40s. Although it has been known to snow in Vegas. Certainly, the mountains around Vegas, they just turn white during the winter. Okay. I think I just want a little more. Sparkle on the inner corners. And of course, you probably can't see the difference. Okay, so 72 and humid. You're in Vegas. No, I haven't met the Pawn Star guys. We are going into El Nino here. Ooh, so the ooh yuck. Chance of fires this summer. That's right. Lynette is going into her summer as we go into our winter. Oh, I really should have used a color base rather than white. Oh well. Okay. Oh, and the other series we're watching is the Ahsoka from on Disney Plus, the new Star Wars series. It's okay. It's just okay. Your husband is watching Ahsoka and loving it. Kind of burnt out on Star Wars after the disappointing Boba Fett. I didn't mind Boba Fett. I guess I'm just not burnt out yet. I'm kind of burnt out on Marvel superheroes movies because, and I never thought I would say that, but there's just been so many because I like superhero movies. Anyway, started the HBO Max adaptation. I started, but I didn't finish it. That's why I didn't pick up the book because I just wasn't. It's like, oh, another post apocalyptic story about not my favorite storyline. What? Added William Shakespeare's Star Wars to my TBR. I have no idea what that is. Station 11 is on your wish list. Don't think Star Wars and Star Trek will ever die, though. Sometimes I wish they would. Not Star Trek. Well, I have to admit I haven't been keeping up with Star Trek. But there's something that should be said about original science fiction or original stories that aren't part of the franchises, the Expanses, the Babylon 5s, the Blake 7. Okay. So, I really need to take the black over. Okay, let's let that dry out. I love the book, and I think the adaptation is a good one. Station 11 captures the tone and atmosphere, good casting, character writing. Yeah, it's just the subject matter of the post-apocalyptic that I'm so excited when Disney got Star Wars. So disappointing that I don't watch any of it anymore. Star Wars written as if Shakespeare had written it, written by Ian Dusher. I will start with the version of the Verily, and you hope. Sounds hilarious. The Empire Striketh Back. Oh gosh, Shakespeare and Lucas, A Marriage Made in Hell. It's like Dostoevsky, written by Jackie Collins. Oh, thank you, Cap. And of course, there's the. Did I read it, or did I just read a lot of it from the bookstore? But I remember Jane Austen and the Zombies. I mean, it's actually pretty clever to get popular works in the public domain, because you can go to town on them without worrying of any copyright infringement. Must be better than Disney version of Star Wars written by a doofus. Well, I was so disappointed in the second trilogy, or the original trilogy, which is actually episodes 4 through 6, is the standard which all Star Wars should be judged by, I think. It's talking about the New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi. But then I guess it's a prequel. I was so disappointed. I did like the conclusion better than the prequel, but still doesn't hold a candle, in my opinion, to the original. Three movies. I just completely covered the red. Oh well. Actually, I should brush this bake off. So I did contour with purple and black, but I think I need more purple. Why not? Oh, it's going to be fun cleaning the brushes today. Okay, so I think this is all I'm going to do. I mean, it's not all I'm going to do for the eyes and the base. I'm going to, of course, do lips and blush. How am I doing this so fast? Oh my gosh, it's only an hour. Last week with that stupid Pennywise took me almost 2 hours. Oh, Frank's gone? Hey, Frank. See you later. Thank you for dropping by. Oh, and Cappuccino's going. No, I will put a wig on. I'm just not going to put on the devil horns. One of my friends is an avid Star Wars fan. I am much more into Star Trek. Yeah, same. Relative, okay. But for some reason, I did that fast. Oh. Okay, so I don't have black lipstick, but I have this black grease paint. So I was going to put that on and then a purple shimmer over that. The thing I wanted to try was a bigger brush for my lips. I probably should get more brushes. I like fantasy. I always like Star Wars more than Trek, but I do love Trek. Yeah, Star Wars definitely has. Well, it has the hero's journey. It's like the one movie that follows every step of the hero's journey, the Joseph Campbell's hero's journey, which is kind of like an Arthurian quest. But yeah, it's definitely more science fantasy or sci-fi fantasy, or it could be called a space opera. Did I release my video on a space opera? I don't know what. I've been so caught up in doing videos for Halloween or for October because I got it in my head. I got to do horror for October, which is kind of fun. Maybe I'll have it a thing. No, I haven't released space operas. So that's probably not going to be until November. Well, nice to know I'm caught up. Okay, I'm just going to do all black. Because spoiler, I talk about Star Wars a lot in that space operas. Tend to like sci-fi more than fantasy. Now, when I first started reading in high school, I was definitely more into science fiction. But back then, there just wasn't any fantasy, or very little. There was Lord of the Rings, loved Lord of the Rings back then, but everything else was, when you went to if you're around in the 70s, the sci fi fantasy section, it was 80% science fiction. Certainly no epic fantasy. Well, until Shannara came out, but there wasn't a lot of epic fantasy until the 90s. So I want this black to be a little wet so I can tap on. I must have a shimmer, a blue shimmer, a purple shimmer. I guess I could do a red shimmer. Hmm. Okay, here's one. Kind of hoping for a little more glitter, but that's fine. Okay, so love the lips. That's the thing. If you have a black base, you can just tap on any type of shimmer eyeshadow for interesting effects. Okay, I think I'm just going to do the eyelashes. Michael Crichton and Ben Bova. See, back in the day, for me, it was Niven was, well, back then I loved Heinlein, but Niven was up there. And Pornell, when he teamed up with Niven, Blue Event Horizon. What am I thinking of? Paul Anderson. Is it Paul Anderson? Oh my God. Who wrote Beyond the Blue Event Horizon? Anyway, that one was up there. Hichi Rendezvous, that trilogy. And then I did read some Ben Bova and Robert Silverberg and, of course, Andre Norton. Not my favorite. Anne McCaffrey loved the Pern books, which is science fiction, even though there's dragons, it's science fiction. Thank you. This isn't blush. This is eyeshadow. I just used this is a Pinky Rose palette. It's a indie Latina own and run brand, but I was just using these purple shadows. I think this one and this one as blush for the and on this red grease paint, it looks a little bit pink, but it's actually purple. Okay. Okay, we have to start a new pair of lashes. Long time since you read any Silverberg. Lord Valentine's Castle is great. Thought you meant, yeah, I mentioned using shadow as blush. Oops. Oh, Lynette, have you ever read, or any of you, have you any of you read Jack Chalker? I was a huge Chalker fan. I think he started in the 80s, but he wrote a lot, I know in the 70s, but I know he wrote a lot in the 80s. And all his books seemed to deal with body transformations. It was like a theme he kept returning to. He wrote Well of the Souls. I think there's like 7 books in that series, but you only need to read the first 3. And I want to say Snake in the Grass series, but it's called something else. But Chalker never became a big name like Ben Bova or Silverberg or. And he never won any prize. Actually, I shouldn't say that for sure. I don't recall him winning any prizes. So for some reason, I don't think he was that well respected in the sci-fi fandom community. But and he died kind of young. And by young, I mean like in his 50s, I believe. He could have been in his 60s. I think it was in his 50s. So. Never heard of Jack Chalker. It's Chalker. I read Midnight of the Well of the Souls earlier this year. I have a couple more of his books on my wish list. Oh, interesting. Okay. So I know my friend James also was a big fan of his. But he's like the only one I know who was. Okay, so this is the I am going to put on a little highlighter. Maybe. Because since this is a devil look, I thought it should. Have a little bit more of a glow. I really don't have good highlighters, though. Okay. So I can't believe I did this so fast. I grabbed some purple and red jewelry. I think I'm going to go with the red. Just because this bib necklace covers a lot of sins. Oh, Snake in the Grass is on your wish list. 4 books series, yeah. Hey, Cool Gamer, thank you for making it. Well, 4 books is easier than like 7. So yeah, I got this, a big red wig. And unfortunately, I tried using the devil horns on it, but it doesn't really work with this wig. So we'll see what I do for the video. A few things I want to play around with. let me zoom out. So I personally think this is much more successful than the Pennywise. And I do want to do one more spooky Halloween video, and I'm thinking about just doing a book review of The Book Eaters, which is my favorite science fiction by a recent author. It's a debut novel too, that I've read in a while. But there is no live stream next week. I'm getting my dates right this time. Definitely no live stream next week. So I'll be back 2 weeks. So I have some time to think about what the last video should be about. If you have any ideas, let me know. Okay. Thank you, Lynette. Thank you, Evie. Okay, so yeah, this is the final look. It's supposed to be a devil look. Yeah. But oh, the eyes look more orange than I thought they would be. But it's for filming a video on horror genres. So that will be released, of course, in October. Okay, guys, thank you so much for coming. I will see you in 2 weeks. And until we meet again, may all the books you read be blessed.